Hope y'all are ready. We got a UFC pay-per-view this weekend. UFC 303 International Fight Week. And we got some UFC news to get into. So let's get into it.
Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, train blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose. Hell yeah. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D. Rose is on that side of your screen, and this should be a fun podcast. On today's show, we are going to recap UFC Fight Night Riyadh really quickly, just give you our main points from it. Me and D-Rose are going to do that real quick. And then me and D-Rose, every single week, we have a pick champ, and D-Rose is going to be eating some Bean Boozled this week for losing the pick champ. You see the shiny gold strap is back over here this week. We got some UFC fight news and announcements to go over. Not too much, but really what everyone's going to be excited for, pretty much what the majority of you here are for, is our UFC 303 Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka, number 2, our picks and our previews. That's going to be at the end of the show. But before we get into all that, D-Rose, you want to let the people how you have been over the past week or so, and are you excited for the pod this week, man?
Yeah, no, things have been good over here. You know, I ended up getting kind of a late Father's Day gift. We ended up getting like some hedgers because I got a bush in my front yard that's kind of getting out of control. So per the request, I ended up getting that, and I was going to break them out today. It's too damn hot. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, dude, it was like 90. It was like 80 some degrees at like 8 this morning. And I was like, dude, I don't feel like doing this right now. It's probably gonna be like 10, 11 o'clock, and it was already like 90 degrees. I was like, I'm not doing this shit. We'll just push it off for another day. But yeah, no, things have been great over here, you know, and yeah, coming off the betting weekend, didn't do terrible. I mean, I came up over my head a little bit just because Alexander Volkov did save me. Other than that, all my parlays did miss, but that one straight up on Volkov, you know, kind of saved my night overall. So wasn't too mad, better than the last few weeks, but we're ready to bounce back this weekend though.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I love to hear it. So let's shout out the chat real quick, and then we'll jump into the show. So up first in here tonight, we got Tim. Hump Day, ready for some first-class fight analysis on 303. I appreciate you stopping by tonight, Tim, and appreciate the kind words, brother. We got Riley stopping by. Hell yeah, excited for this 303 card. Appreciate you, Riley, for stopping by. Best card since 300 for sure, says Tim. Happy Hawk to everyone. LFG, says Austin. It's taking over the internet, dears. Riley saying, damn, someone's happy. Riley saying, I'm not going to read that out. You guys can read. Jesus. We got Lush. Appreciate you stopping by tonight, Lush. Another Golden Wednesdays with the boys. Shout out Lush LeMay for stopping by tonight. We got Daniel Aker in here with the LFG. Dave says, my tops now for 302 just came in. one of the art posters. I hope it's nice, Dave. Topps now are only my absolute favorite PC, and the poster cards are so awesome. Yeah, I don't have any of those. What's going on, Frank? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, brother. Yuri shirt coming out tonight. Unfortunately not, man. I believe it's in my laundry right now. I did wear it last week. We got Riley saying, "What's up, boys? What's up, Riley?" And then talk about hot 134 in the attic the other day. That is hot, man. And we got D Hunt stopping by. What's going on, D Hunt? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, brother. So, D Rose, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the show. This past weekend, UFC Fight Night Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, headlined by Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start right there. To say the least, I hate that I didn't learn anything from the fight still, other than, well, I didn't think Ikram was the best in the world, and I just found out that he wasn't the best in the world. Robert absolutely mashed him in the first round. So didn't really find out anything new about Ikram. I would still like to see him against someone like Paulo Costa, like the Nasruddin, the Imavov level, maybe Jared Kennedy or something, right? I would like to see him against one of these guys that isn't, Izzy, Sean Strickland, Dricus. Let me see him against one of the contenders first, because you just throw him right to Rob, and it's like, dude, I didn't think the fight was going to end that quickly. I had Rob 4-5 or decision, or Rob KO 3-4 or 5 in a few bets, and didn't expect it to happen in the first. But yeah, Robert Whittaker goes out there, and I believe I have a little screenshot over here. Goes out and absolutely just lays the uppercut on Ikram, dude. The nasty combination. Snoozes Ikram the same way that Hamzat snoozed him, basically with an uppercut, dude. So yeah, that took place, and then co-main event was Pavlovich versus Volkov, dude. And yeah, it was almost like Volkov. Like fucking Pavlovich was almost scared to engage just a little bit. Like, it's almost like he wanted to have a sparring contest, but Volkov was out there just piecing him up all 3 rounds, dude. And it was clear, easy 30-27, dude. I don't know if the gloves have anything to do with it, dude, but a few punches maybe a little like landed, but nothing really clean. And then after the fight, there was a little shoving match going on when Volkov went over, tried to shake Pavlovich's hand, and Pavlovich like shoved the shit out of him, dude, like a hard push. And then from then Kelvin Gastelum, missed weight and looked like absolute shit on the scale, dude. Change of Cheddar Friday was hilarious because you just saw Dana White's face just looking at Kelvin in just disappointment, just looking at him. He was just like, dude, what the hell? Sharabullet Magomedov, in my opinion, kind of looked like shit, but, it is what it is. He gets a 3rd round knockout. People are still going to be fans of him. The funniest picture of the night, in my opinion, is, I feel bad for him, but Johnny Walker gets absolutely snoozed again, dude. And just look at Vulcan standing there with a no time and a dead Johnny Walker in the background, dude. Just absolutely just murdered Johnny Walker. But hey, that's how Johnny Walker fights go, dude. And then yeah, prelims. Nazarite High Press legitimately got a robbery decision win over Jared Gordon. Muhammad Naimov looked good until the 3rd round, and where he got submitted via Runeke choke. Renat Fakhretdinov does get the decision win over Nicholas Dalby in a pretty close fight, though. Moin Gafarov beats Kyung Ho Kang, and Muhammad Gadziev wins the decision, and the road to UFC fight Cheng Ho Lee wins. So yeah, man, pretty decent afternoon of fights. It wasn't a night of fights, but yeah, I think I was happy that I was able to give out one winning change to cheddar parlay this past week. I'll pop that up. My dog's barking. I'll pop that up on the screen. Yeah, it was a $10 to 138, so was able to cash that one. Did a little bit better than break even this past weekend. So hopefully we can keep it rolling for this upcoming weekend. So what do you have for this past weekend, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the main event. I think, and we said it coming in, Ikram, I still don't think this is anything against him negatively, because I still think that it was just way too quick of a jump up for him. For just that, dude, that uppercut is his kryptonite or something. Because, yeah, that dude just cannot seem to get out of the way of an uppercut. I mean, dude, that's picture perfect too. Like, dude, Rob completely nailed that. Um, and yeah, dude, Rob looked on fire from the beginning. And the setup on the finish was beautiful because uh, you could see that Ikram was kind of throwing that little faint knee, kind of forward. And I think I even sent you the clip where there was a quick breakdown of it. And Rob kind of made those reads. And as soon as he saw Ikram on one leg, that's when he just darted with that right hand and just blasted him. And just the finish was beautiful. Rob's first finish since 2017 against Jacare. So that's crazy to even think about as well. But yeah, super good win for him. Could be fighting for the title next, but not quite sure. The middleweight division still got to shake out a little bit more with Strickland and Izzy and Dricus and all these guys. So, but yeah, middleweight is on fire right now. And then for the co-main event, I mean, honestly, that's exactly how I saw that fight going. Yeah, I mean the only difference between that fight and the Derek Lewis fight is that Derek Lewis landed the Hail Mary at the end. But other than that, I mean, when Volkov can use his range and use his kicks and dude, snapping guys with that jab, I mean, dude, he's as dangerous as any heavyweight. I mean, I still remember at the end of the Curtis Blades fight, like, dude, Curtis Blades was winning wrestling, and all he was trying to do was just make sure he can maintain any type of top control, because when Volkov was able to keep it at range with his striking, man, he was eating Curtis Blades up with that jab. And I remember Curtis Blades was doing his interview completely gassed. Dude, Volkov is dude, he's a problem, man. And yeah, I think Pavlovich, we all know the knockout ability, but just for Volkov to be able to use the range the way he did, use his kicks, constantly stabbing him to the body, leg kicks, head kicks up high to make sure he has Sergey's guard up. Yeah, this is a complete performance from him, and kind of how I saw that fight playing out. And man, I'm just being honest. There was no way I would have picked freaking D-Rod had I known that would have been a 185 fight, considering the fact that D-Rod had, was on his way to making 170. And I saw Dave's comment in there to just, bring that point back forward that, yeah, Kelvin Gastelum actually has a segment on his YouTube channel that is called Missing Weight, and is him going around reviewing food, and he is literally telling you, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to make weight, and just eating just whatever he wants, which, okay, that's perfectly fine, but there could have been some sort of notice that D-Rod could have had ahead of time before him attempting to cut weight. So they said at Media Day, I believe it was on Thursday, D-Rod was down to 179. He did his press conference, and dude, he was like dying because he was on his way to make weight. He was like 178, 179. They said he literally had to just stuff a bunch of food in over like the next couple of days just to even make sure that he could make 185. Dude, that is so like bad to do to your body, to like, deprive yourself of water and food and stuff like that, to drain yourself, and then all of a sudden have to put back on that weight within a short amount of time like that. I mean, that was going to affect D-Rod at some point in time, and I think Kelvin came in with the most energy, and he was able to use that to his advantage and get the win. And as big of a Kelvin fan as I am, man, that was yeah, that was pretty disappointing in Kelvin Gastelum, because one of the fan favorites and stuff like that, but yeah, even Dana White, as you said, Dana White wasn't happy. Dude, Kelvin is literally begging for his job at the end of that fight. And he's like, dude, I promise I won't do it again. I know I said it before, but I mean it this time. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, dude, you've already shown us who you are. Like there's no going back on this now. But yeah, disappointing on that part. I wouldn't have picked D-Rod if that was the case, but yeah, that ended up sucking for me, obviously, and we'll get into the beans here in a little bit. But and then just a few quick points, because I saw some of the prelims, but I didn't see them in totality. Sharp Bullet, good fighter, man, but yeah, it's slow talk on the him coming in and taking over the middleweight division, and him fighting Michelle Pereira and all this stuff, like, especially if he's only going to be fighting in Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia because, out in that Middle Eastern region, because he's going to be able to get away with the commission because the UFC controls the commission when it's in, another country like that, versus if it's an American-controlled athletic commission. The American Athletic Commission is not going to let that dude fight with an eye like that. But I thought it was funny because Dana White did his press conference, and they had actually asked Dana, like, hey, is he going to fight in America? And he said, we're just going to keep him over here.
Like his exact words was like, probably not. We'll keep him out here.
Yeah. And then nobody followed up or anything. Like, well, why are you going to keep him out here? Because I would have loved for that answer to have been, because his eyes fucked up and we can't let him fight in America. So, it definitely needs to work on his grappling still. It just sounds crazy that a person from Dagestan has like 6 striking, but no grappling. So definitely needs to work on that. But he'll be a fun fighter. Just not expecting any championship level or anything like that. And no time against Johnny Walker. Kind of how I expected that fight to go. Dude. I mean, whenever Johnny Walker faces anybody that has, any type of real punching power, they can just get in range, walk them down, and they will eventually land the big shots. Because Johnny Walker, no matter how big he is, the dude just cannot use his range
except for Thiago Santos
to fight. No, that's because him and Thiago Santos had a staring contest. They didn't do anything but stare at each other for 5 rounds, and Thiago Santos still won that fight. But again, Thiago Santos didn't put any pressure on him, because as soon as you put any type of pressure on Johnny Walker, he will get clipped, he will get hurt, and you can get him out of there. I think he has I think most of his losses are by knockout. Corey Anderson,
dude, he's
Jamal
lost
Hill,
by knockout
Volkan.
A few times in one fight, dude. The Ryan Spann fight, dude, he got knocked out 3 times.
Dude, Corey Anderson literally knocked him back and forth across the octagon like 5 different times. Like, he literally went from east to west, back and forth, because Corey Anderson was literally just beating his ass across the octagon. It sucks for Johnny Walker, man. I hate to see him come down the way that he has, but good to see Volkan, kind of having a little bit of a resurgence here, finishing Bogdan in his last fight and then now finishing Johnny Walker. Volkan's kind of getting a little bit of that old swagger that he used to have back, and I think he can make a little bit of man. I love it. I know you used to be a big No Time fan as well, so it's good to see him kind of get back to his old swagger.
Yeah, man. Did you like the Jamal Hill call out? I hated that. That's a good call out and an easy enough fight for Jamal Hill to win. I'm like, damn, dude. That's the next matchup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does make sense. To me, it almost seems like that Oberg really wants that Jamal Hill fight. I think hopefully. Me personally, it sounds like they're going to try to end up making that fight happen. But I'd like to see where they take Volkan moving forward. I know he's fought Magomed Ankalaev. He's already fought Rakic. He hasn't fought Jan Blachowicz. that could be a fun fight as well against another former champ that could potentially propel him up towards a title shot. But I don't think the Jamal Hill fight would happen. But you are right. That is a little bit more of an even playing field than for Jamal Hill than I think it would be for Jamal Hill against Carlos Oberg.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the beans. This past weekend, D-Rose, we picked different on 4 different fights. Renat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby, Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir, which we threw out, so that one doesn't count. Kelvin Gastelum versus D-Rod, which it puts me up to, and Pavlovich versus Volkov. So one more time, I picked Renat Fakhretdinov. D-Rose was on Nicholas Dalby. In a close fight, I was on Kelvin Gastelum. D-Rose was on D-Rod. And then in the co-main event, I was on Pavlovich. D-Rose was on Volkov. So Volkov saved you from the clean sweep this week, D-Rose. But, so D-Rose is the Bean Boozled eater this week, man. So you have to be almost running out of beans now, don't you?
No, we have.
Do I need
plenty.
to order you more beans? Do I need to order you more bean boozled D-Rose?
We have plenty because I got off to such a great lead at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I still got plenty. Man,
Vulcan versus
again,
Reyes.
freaking,
That's a good fight too.
Freaking, that maybe. I mean, they've already fought though. I mean, I know that there's not too many fresh matchups that you can make a 1 or 205 because Vulcan's even fought Anthony Smith. Like, if you actually go down the light heavyweight list, like right now, like he has fought most of those dudes who are like up at the top. Dude, he's been in the division since about 2017 or so.
Yeah,
I mean, and he's done nothing but fought the best for a long time. So I guess that could be a good fight as well. But yeah, it's just gonna be hard to kind of match him up right now.
I got you.
Not too mad because I got a blue one, but
All right.
I think this one is Stinky Socks. I believe so. The light's bright as hell in the background right here, so it's hard to see.
It's either Dirty Dishwater or Stinky Socks, one of the two. Hopefully. It could be.
Did you just try to wish two bad ones? I mean, it could be no.
It could be birthday cake or Tutti Frutti.
Yeah, it's birthday cake, or I'm sorry, Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti.
All right. Here we go.
Man, I don't have anything to like spit this in. Yeah, I got some right here. Man, even if it's good, I might mess around and spit it out, dude. It's just, man, I hate these things. And freaking Kelvin Gastelum, dude, like bullshitting me with that. I thought we put Johnny Walker and Vulcan Uzum in the
that's the one pick that I was like, I'm throwing that one out, D-Rose. Because I have no faith in Johnny Walker not getting snoozed.
That damn Kelvin Gastelum, man. He absolutely screwed me, dude.
Stinky socks. Stinky socks. Stinky socks. Stinky socks. Stinky socks. Stinky. Oh, come on. Is it bad?
Dude, what the hell? It tastes even staler. Dude. Golly. Yeah, I gotta get these stinky socks out of here. Dude.
Yeah, toothpaste or blueberry.
Yeah.
Either way, it's
yeah. Hopefully it cleans it up. Yeah, hopefully it cleans it up. But dude, yeah, that's crucial.
All right. So while D-Rose eats a second bean, I'll get the news pulled up for this week. All right.
Damn. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what
I'm done a podcast in a while. It is.
This base one is actually like. I mean, I'm going to spit it out. I'm not going. Yeah, dude.
I usually eat it because it usually tastes like shit for for like.
It's good. It's a good cleanser. It's a good cleanser. I will say that. So, whenever I get a blue one, that is like a surprising, like, or not a surprise, but a pleasant little treat after you do eat a bad one. I will say that.
Okay.
Well, that's Stinky Socks. Yeah, that is God. Brutal.
All right, dear. So with that being said, let's get into the UFC news and fight announcements this week. You can blame Kelvin Gastelum for you eating Stinky Socks this week. So let's get into it. The news and announcements for the week. We got a banger to start it off with more changes to UFC International Fight Week. This is this upcoming weekend. More changes for this weekend. Blue ones first from now on. That's what Dave
Dave. Dave. That's the whole idea. We gotta have some type of cleanup if we're gonna have some bullshit on the front end of it, man. I mean, it's hard to. And Matt can attest, when you eat two bad ones, like, dude, it is so hard no matter how many drinks you have to wash that bullshit out of your mouth. Like, I keep a toothpick down here deliberately for that. So, like, I could try to get that
stuck
shit
in your teeth. Like, it gets stuck in your teeth. Yeah, it's bad.
Yes, it is brutal, dude. I cannot stand it.
All right, D-Rose. So up first, this will be this weekend, so we're going to talk about it. But me and you have kind of spoke about it just a little bit. Me and you are split on this fight, yeah?
Yeah, like you said, we'll get into it a little bit more, but a fight to me that kind of doesn't make sense.
The
But
fight
of course,
went
we know
from
the reason why it's happening.
yeah, like the fight went from Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg to to Carlos Ulberg versus Anthony Smith. Then Ulberg falls out, and then it's now Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze, dude. Like, wait, hold on. Who was the first person to fall out? Like, I think like Khalil
Khalil fell out
Roundtree.
because he
Yeah,
had failed
yeah.
drug
Before
test.
anything,
Then it was
Before-
Ulberg, Jamal Hill,
Yeah,
and
dude,
then
so
Jamal
many-
Hill, Jamal Hill pulled out. So then it was Anthony Smith, and then Ulberg pulled out. Now it's Roman Dolidze. So this fight went from maybe the next title challenger at 205 to who the hell knows.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about that one. So, up next, Heroes, we got Cedric Dumas taking on Dennis Tululin, rebooked for UFC Abu Dhabi, dude. If he can't get into Saudi Arabia, what makes you think he's getting into Abu Dhabi, dude? This is August 3rd, but I don't think it happens. What's your thoughts here?
Cedric had trouble getting into
Yeah.
Like he was supposed to fight this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird that they keep trying to book him. I mean, I don't really care about this fight though.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to the next one where we have Muhammad Usman taking on Thomas Peterson, UFC Vegas 94, July 20th. You care about this?
It should be a decent scrap.
I bet it goes to decision.
Brings the energy.
I bet it goes to decision.
Yeah, there's a very good chance. Whoever ends up using their wrestling, this'll. Nah, I said this would be a good fight. Nah, this would definitely probably be a PBF for sure. This is definitely a PBF.
Piss break fight for those of you who don't know. We got. She's a runner. She's a track star baby. She's returning. Chelsea Chandler is going to be taking on Yana Santos, Vegas 95, August 10th. Do you care about that one at all? Actually, no, you do care about this one, D-Rose. What's your thoughts on this?
That I am hella surprised that Yana Santos is still in the UFC. Like I didn't even have any clue, any inkling that she was still in the UFC. Yeah, that's random. And Chelsea Chandler, I mean, she made 135 pretty clean in her last fight. I can't remember off the top of my head who she fought, but I do remember that we were like, dude, is she even
It was
make 135? And
Tamiris Vidal.
there you go. But yeah, she made 135 pretty clean the last fight. She could make it again in this fight pretty clean, but I'll be curious to see how she makes weight consistently.
Yeah, or maybe I'm wrong because I think I like Tamiris Vidal fought like Melissa Gatu and got titty punched. I don't know. Maybe she was her last fight too. Who even knows? People fight often. So these are going to be recaps from this past weekend. There's Moin Gafarov, Renat Fakhretdinov, Lima, the robbery for Mini Gastelum there, Volkan No Time Uzdemir, Cheryl Bullet, Big Gastelum there. Dude, he was beating the brakes off of D-Rod there for a few minutes, dude. The combos were flying in that fight, though. It was a good fight. And this absolute massacre. And then Robert Whittaker just absolutely snoozes Ikram, and that happens. And then, here we go. Our next fight announcement. We've got Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa taking on Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. That's going to be UFC 305. I believe that's the Perth card. What's your thoughts on that?
Now that's an interesting fight, and a fight that has not happened yet. I know people keep trying to speak into existence the Derek Lewis and Biggie Boy fight, but another fight goes by that Biggie Boy and the Black Beast have not been booked against one another. But this one should be fun, and I don't anticipate it going to a decision.
No, me either, dude. Yeah, dude. So not next weekend because we have a break this upcoming weekend. But our first fight night back was Rose Namajunas versus Macy Barber. Macy Barber has had to pull out of her fight. So Tracy Cortez was booked against Miranda Maverick this same fight night, and I'm glad that fight's not happening because I'm a fan of both ladies, and I don't want to see them fight each other. Tracy Cortez is now booked in the main event versus Thug, Rose Namajunas. What's your thoughts on this headlining UFC Denver, July 13th?
Yeah, of course I wanted Macy to be in the fight. It's a suitable replacement. I mean, I definitely think it came out of nowhere to see Tracy Cortez end up taking the fight, but we were kind of messaging each other last night about this, and I believe she's kind of a dark horse of 125. I think that her activity kind of kills her a little bit because we don't see her in the octagon a whole bunch, but just in terms of her actual skills and what she can do, like, yeah, her takedown defense is great. She's got good striking. She doesn't really get hit all that. I mean, she gets hit sometimes, but not her defense is pretty good for the most part as well. So, yeah, should be a good fight, but I do see Rose having the edge right now.
All right. Hey, now 34 saying, is Blanchfield still not destined for greatness? That was what we actually talked about yesterday. Hey, now 34. I told D Rose I think Tracy Cortez has a better shot at the title than Aaron does because Aaron's striking and her striking defense just wasn't there. At least we've seen something from Tracy Cortez. Like, she boxed Jasmine Jasovicius up pretty bad, dude. So she's got some paws on her. I think she's got a better shot than Aaron does, in my personal opinion. But I haven't ever been the biggest Aaron fan in the world. But D Rose, Aaron Blanchfield's #1 fan. Up next, dude, we got two people that you're a fan of. We got Dan 50K Ige taking on Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal, UFC Vegas 94, July 20th. Our second fight card back. D Rose, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh man, and this fight is pretty soon too, dude. That's that's a scrap. And I know I've been using this reference a lot in our last couple, but not exactly Spider-Man meme because Danny Ige definitely has more power, but just in terms of like their fight style, both of them walking forward, just looking to take their opponent's head off. I think Chepe has a little bit cleaner boxing for the most part and is willing to use his wrestling a little bit more. Danny Ige, although he does have good boxing, looking to take your head off as well, and he's got sneaky good jiu-jitsu as well when he can snap in that guillotine as well. So that's a good fight, and as you said, I'm a fan of both, so that's definitely going to be hard to pick for me.
Yeah, man, I agree. Tough fight to call. And then last UFC fight announcement that we have Vyacheslav Barshov or Slavaklaus taking on James Yontop. He has a machine gun Uzi tattooed on his face. Yeah, should be a fun fight. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it should be a fun fight. That is yeah. I remember you said something about like betting on him in the last fight because he lost the fight, right? But you were like worried about betting against him because
he had a gun.
This dude had a machine gun on his face.
This dude has a machine gun tattooed on his face.
Yeah, no, I remember that now that you're bringing that up. But yeah, that should be a good scrap and Slavaklaus, always fun to watch that dude get down. So good body shots and good boxing. So yeah, it should be a good scrap.
I agree, man. Let me get the card pulled up real quick. And then we'll get into the UFC. UFC 303. What's happening? What's loading? My shit's loading. Here we go. All right.
What are you thinking about? Do you think, real quick, while you're getting it loaded up, do you think as the UFC is scrambled to put this card together after McGregor falling out, do you think the card's actually better now versus what it was before McGregor and Chandler fell out?
I like some fights more. But dude, I was ready. Dude, I don't know if we see Connor again, dude. Like, it's like I know it was just a toe injury, but dude, this fight has been kicked down the road so long, dude. It's like I feel bad for Michael Chandler. I don't know if the fight happens. I wish this fight was still on the card. We've seen Yuri versus Alex too, so I guess I didn't need it. I love the fight because I'm a huge fan of both fighters. But I personally liked the Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg fight a lot. But I love T-City versus Diego Lopez. It's a very hard fight for me to call, but I do have my Diego Lopez shirt on, so you already know who I'm going with. But yeah, you know, dude, I've been a T City fan for the longest. I went against them in his last fight, and I was like, I will never go against him again from this point on. And then he gets matched up with a guy that I'm truly a fan of, a guy that I have a picture with. So it's a tough fight card for me to pick, because I have strong feelings about this. But I've left my feelings aside, and I've brought my best picks to you right here today. And D-Rose, I'm trying to click this, dude. I don't know if it's my mouse that don't want to click it, but I've clicked this thing like 3 times. Yeah, I don't know what the issue was. I clicked it 3 times and it did not want to go to the page. Anyway, so there we go. The longest road. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, you have a machine gun tattooed on your face, y'all. That is, I mean, you probably haven't made the best life choices to this point.
Yeah, not what we consider a rational thinker. That's for sure.
All right. So that being said, I believe we have the fight card pulled up.
And dude, it's a stacked card, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think, just to go back to the question that I asked you. I mean, honestly, I kind of like the card a little bit better. I mean, I think them scrambling to get T City and Diego Lopez, even though that's a fight that, man, sucks because fan of both dudes just like you are as well. But that's a fun fight, and of course Alex and Yuri, just for them to scramble the way they have to put these fights together. I mean. And both those dudes bring action as well. Yeah, I think the UFC has done a good job so far as making sure they keep this card stacked. And me personally, I'm a little bit more excited for these fights this weekend.
Fair enough, dude. I don't hate it. I mean, it's still a fantastic card. They're getting my $80. It is what it is.
Except, dude, that fucking, and you'll go down the card. They better not keep Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chiasson on the main
that's
card.
staying. That's staying
not,
there.
No. They better not. I'm not spending $80 freaking dollars.
I would rather them put
card.
Literally any other fight on the prelims on the main card.
I mean, they could put one of the misfit boxing matches on there, dude. Like, I would rather have one of those at this point than I would freaking Mayra Bueno Silva and Macy Chiasson. Like, on the
watching
card.
I was watching Volk's breakdown, and he just skipped right over it. He only broke down the 4 fights.
Dude, who hasn't? Like, dude,
he just skipped right over it. Just didn't even mention it.
Yeah, like, why would you? Because dude, that fight is absolutely garbage. Like, other than that, like, I think, dude, for this card, me personally, I think it's an A. Yeah, I think this is going to be every bit of, it should be every bit of worth your money. And yeah, as far as the matchups go, there's a lot of fights that I'm anticipating happening on this card, and different lineup or different storylines for different matchups. And yeah, I'm super excited for this card. So it should be a banger. But damn, Mayra Bueno Silva and Macy Chiasson, but especially Mayra Bueno Silva, especially we just saw her in her last co-main event headliner. Dude, and put on one of the biggest snooze fests that we've ever seen in a title fight, and laid one of the biggest eggs. Why are we giving her main card, Sean? But that's just me.
Okay. Yeah, I know. All right, D-Rose is done ranting about a fight that we will talk about here tonight. So let's get into it. UFC 303, Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. Number two, D-Rose.
Two? This one's like 2 because this one's like we're looking forward to this one. So 2.
Yeah. It's going to be taking place this Saturday, June 29th. Prelims are going to start at 6 p.m. East Coast time. It's going to be taking place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We do have 13 fights to break down. We are going to be headlined by Alex Pereira taking on Yuri Prochazka, Dinesa Prochazka. We've got T-City Brian Ortega taking on Diego Lopez. We've got Lionheart Anthony Smith taking on the Caucasian Roman Dolidze. We've got D-Rose's favorite fight on this card, Mayra Shitara Bueno Silva taking on Macy Chiasson. We've got Ian Machado Gary taking on Michael Venom Page. Ian Macheri, the future. Macheri. Did I say it wrong again? Macheri.
Yeah.
Ian Machado, the future Gary, taking on MVP Michael Venom Page. We got Joe Body Bags, B. Joe Pfeiffer, taking on the Power Bar, Mark Andre Barrio. We've got Cup Swanson taking on Andre Feely. We've got Charles Air Jordan taking on Gene Silva. We've got Peyton Talbot taking on Giannis Gamori. We do have the Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson, taking on Jillian the Savage Robertson. We've got Andre Arlovsky taking on Martin Baddies Budai. We've got Carlos Hernandez taking on Ray Sayara, I believe. And our first fight of the night will be none other, Deros, than Ricky Simone taking on.
Thank you. I said, do we have a panel?
Take it on, Loke Dog Vinicius Oliveira, dude. I make the joke every single time. I figured I would get the clip on here and add it, dude. Loke Dog Vinicius Oliveira. All right. So, first fight of the night. Let's get into it, dude. We've got Ricky Simone taking on. Dude, it's just, I couldn't leave it at that. Ricky Simone taking on.
Mr. Loke Dog?
That's me.
Oh, you're next.
Mr. Lock Dog?
Hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah, right.
You all right?
Yeah, no.
All right, girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna put the clip, but do I wear these Uzis with this, or do I wear this with this? Okay, I'll wear these, but the clip was too long, and if I put more than 10 seconds, then YouTube will ban me. But that's the first fight of the night. We've got Ricky Simone taking on Vinicius Loke Dog or Lock Dog Oliveira. So out of Ricky Simone's last 5 fights, he is 3-2. Has lost his last 2 a year ago. Song Yadong via knockout and Mario Bautista via decision 5 months ago in a fight that I truly forgot happened. On the other hand, Loke Dog Vinicius Oliveira, out of his last 5 fights, he has won 4 of them and lost 1. His last 2 fights, one was on the Contender Series, and his last fight was probably a contender for knockout of the year, dude. 3 months ago, that flying knee, dude, was disgusting. Currently odds for this fight -245 Ricky Simone and +186 for Loke Dog Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simone, 31 years old, 5'6" and a 70-inch reach, while Loke Dog or Lock Dog is 28 years old, 5'9" and a 70.5-inch reach. D-Rose, I am going with the tried and true UFC vet here. I probably think this is a Ricky Simone 3 rounds grinding decision. But, dude, Bernardo Sopai was able to get Vinicius Oliveira down pretty much at will in his last fight. And, dude, if he didn't get that knee, he didn't look the best, dude. And it's kind of gas. So I will be probably heavy on the DraftKings play of Ricky Simone and over 1.5 rounds, or I will probably have a few parlayed up Ricky Simone 3 or decision. Yeah, but give me Ricky Simone to win this fight via decision. Which way are you going here? After all that setup, I picked Ricky Simone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You did all that. I'm sitting here thinking he was going to go Luck Dog. I was like, where's he going to go here? And end up going Ricky Simone. I can see where you maybe end up going back and watching it. I hadn't watching it forever, and I believe it's on Max. So I'm probably going to end up going up here after this and watch it. But no, I can see why you choose Ricky Simone. You know, he's got good wrestling, as you said, tried and true veteran in the UFC. I think if he does not get the takedowns, I think there's I think Vinicius Salvador can hurt him. He does have power in his hands. I think he's going to be the bigger dude as well. I mean, Ricky Simone, I know he's bricked up. Like he does have muscles on muscles, but he is like even next to Mario Bautista, he was a very small guy. He's super small for this division. I think, as you said, Bernardo Sopai, I think he gave Vinicius Oliveira a very tough test, or Vinicius Salvador a tough test in his last fight. And I honestly think it's a very similar style that what Ricky Simone has. We have seen Ricky Simone clipped and hurt, multiple times before, Uriah Faber, Song Yadong. He's not prone to, not getting hurt. He does get hurt in his fights. So I'm going to take a chance in the underdog here and go Vinicius Oliveira. Like I said, got power in his hands, diverse striking. And yeah, he did get that crazy knockout, but dude, like he was absolutely going for it because it was 1-1 going into that third round. And he knew he had to absolutely go for it. And yeah, that's what I liked out of that last performance from him, was that he knew he had to put his foot on the gas in that last little bit. And that setup to get that flying knee. He hit him with the leg kick, up with the left hook, knocked Bernardo Sopai to the fence, and then finish it off with that flying knee. Like it was a nasty setup. So I think Vinicius Salvador can get it done.
I see why you would go that way, and I don't hate your pick. When it opens up, dude, I probably have the odds on DraftKings right now. I don't mind the
I kept saying Salvador. I meant Oliver.
I got you. I don't mind the under in either one of the fights, dude. Under, I mean, the rounds is at 2.5 right now. Over 105, under -125, dude. I don't mind the under in this fight because, as you said, so Oliveira can crack, and what we're saying, he kind of got taken down with ease, and Ricky Simone's got quite a few subs. So I don't hate the under in this fight, but me and D-Rose are split. I am on the vet Ricky Simone, D-Rose on the semi-UFC newcomer. Had a couple fights now, Vinicius Oliveira. So we'll move on to the next fight where we have Ray Sayara going to be taking on Carlos Hernandez. So Carlos Hernandez is 9-3 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has won 3 and lost 2. Lost to Alan Nascimento a year and 5 months ago. Beat Dennis Bondar by technical decision, and yeah, whatever. And then Tatsuro Taira knocked him out, dude. Yeah. On the other hand, Ray Sayara is 9-0. Currently, odds for this fight are -470 Ray Sayara and +360 Carlos Hernandez. The over/under on this, D-Rose, is set at 1.5, -166 for over and +130 for under. Carlos Hernandez, 30 years old, 5'8", 67-inch reach, while Ray Sayara is 22 years old, 5'6", and a 68-inch reach. D-Rose, Ray Sayara sells for the wrestling, dude. One road to UFC 125. Yeah, and dude, he is just a dude. He don't mess around, dude. He's like touch gloves, double leg, dude, and is on it the whole fight. Kind of reminds me of Brady Heathstand just a little bit, but maybe don't have the finishing instinct. I believe he has a few knockouts. I believe he has a few knockouts and a few subs, about split down the middle. So, but yeah, dude, I forgot what the fight was that I was kind of watching. If he doesn't get the early finish, he kind of runs out of the gas, maybe like late second round, dude. But he is very, I don't want to say Kamzat like, but you can tell that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, give me Ray Sayara to probably finish Carlos Hernandez early second round. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I'm not super familiar with Ray Sayara, but I am going to pick him. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Carlos Hernandez, not going to say he's not that great, but we have seen, when he does take a little bit of a step up, he does kind of get you basically knocked back down a peg a little bit. So yeah, I'm just going to pick Ray Sayara because I just don't think Carlos Hernandez is that good. Let's just say that.
Yeah. like UFC has like fucking matched up with like another Japanese prospect, but he's not quite the same as Tatsuro Taira. He's got way better wrestling. He kind of like reminds me more of like the Rinya Nakamura than Tatsuro Taira as far as the approach to the game, if you will. But yeah, pretty good Japanese wrestler. So we'll move on to the next fight, D-Rose, which is a fun one. Yeah, dude, and I see a lot of hate on this fight this weekend, dude. And I like Martin Buday. A lot of people are hating on him. I don't understand why, but let's get into it. We've got the Pitbull, Andrei Arlovsky, taking on Martin Baddies Buday. Andrei Arlovsky's 34-23 overall. Lost his last 3 fights a year and 7 months ago. Marcus Rogerio de Lima submission. A year ago, Dontel Mays KO, and 5 months ago, got air humped by Waldo Cortez Acosta for 3 rounds. On the other hand, Martin Buday, out of his last 5 fights, won 4 of them. His only loss was Shamil Gaziev in his last fight, where I did pick Martin Buday. I thought there was a chance there. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 210 for Andrei Arlovsky, minus 258 for Martin Buday. Over under on this is 2.5. Over is minus 195, and under plus 150, dude. Yeah. Give me Martin Buday to submit Andrei Arlovsky in the first round, dude. Give me Martin Buday to go out there, clinch up with Andrei Arlovsky, push him back to the cage, hit him with a little foot trip, end up on the ground, and probably hit him with some kind of Kimura or key lock, something like that. Martin Buday, first round sub. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I think Martin Buday gets it done as well. I'm not even going to beat around the bush with this one. Andrei Arlovsky, just a little bit older, slower. Just, his reflexes aren't there as he, quite once had it,
Just he's got to be the oldest person like on the UFC like fucking roster, right? Like it's like, yeah. Dude, it's like it when you just look at the age,
I mean,
dude,
he's
40,
definitely got to be.
Dude, once people start getting close to 40, we're like, yeah, dude, like, oh wow, I didn't even fucking do the measurable. Sorry. Andrei Arlovsky, 45 years old, 6'3", 77-inch reach, while Martin Buday, 32 years old, 6'4", 77-inch reach. Yeah. But like we have worries about like fucking people when they get like 37, 38, 39, dude. That was like 7 years ago for Andrei Arlovsky, dude.
Yeah, dude, no, that's why it's even crazier that he's still fighting, and he was on a win streak like not that long ago. Like what's even crazier, but yeah, I think Martin Buday is just going to be able to more or less stay out of any danger as far as it goes with striking. I do agree with you in terms of clinching, taking it down to the ground. I don't think it's going to be as easy of a submission. I'm probably going to look to maybe play Martin Buday round 3 or decision. I think there's a very good chance that you can make this your PBF of the night, because this very well could be that type of fight. But yeah, I'm going Martin Buday.
All right. Well, D-Ro's not as big of a Martin Buday fan as I am, dude. Dude's good. He's only lost 1 fight in the UFC. I don't know.
He's solid. I don't know. I just don't think he's I don't know if he's one that I've man, I got to be sitting down to watch Martin Buday fight.
I got you. Didn't Rainey fight until 45, 46? Yeah, too old. That was back in the day where people were not as skilled and were just relying on steroids to get them through.
Well, I will say heavyweight, like, and if you're still showing that you're good, you can fight until your mid-40s. I mean, hell, we've even seen Glover Teixeira just as recently. He was a champ at 40 years old. So you can fight at 40 and a little bit older at the higher weight classes. But we've seen Andrei Arlovsky for a long time now not really be that great. And again, I know I said he was on a winning streak, but I think it was only like a 2-fight win streak. And even those fights were bad. Like, Andrei Arlovsky has shown that he has not been his old self in a really long time. So that's the difference between him and Couture. Couture was out here winning titles in his early mid-40s. Yeah, Andrei Arlovsky is not at that level right now.
No, me and D-Rose both on Martin Batty's Budai. We'll move on to the next one where we have the karate hottie Michelle Watterson Gomez taking on Jillian the Savage Robertson. Dude, Michelle Watterson just on a loss streak from hell right now. Just 3 years of nothing but losses. And lastly, got taken down and TKO'd by Marina Rodriguez, dude. And Marina Rodriguez doesn't take down anyone. So that was not good to see. On the other hand, Jillian Robertson, out of her last 5 fights, she has won 3 and lost 2. Her last win was Polyana Viana. She lost to Tabitha Ricci via decision. Pierre Rodriguez a year ago, and Agapova, that was a weight class up. But yeah, dude, most submissions in all of women's UFC, I believe. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 154 for Michelle Watterson and minus 185 for Michelle Watterson. Plus 154 for Michelle Watterson and minus 185 for Jillian Robertson. The over-under on this fight is at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 188 and under 2.5 is plus 145. Michelle Watterson, 38 years old, 5'3" and a 62-inch reach. Wow. Jillian Robertson is 29 years old, 5'5" and a 63-inch reach. Yeah, D Rose, I have to go Jillian Robertson to win this fight. I don't know if she'll finish Michelle Watterson, but if not, it's going to be an easy 30-27 win for Jillian Robertson. I know she doesn't have good luck in going to decisions, but dude, just Michelle Watterson, she's 38 now, dude. She's on a loss streak. She's getting taken down by Marina Rodriguez that has not good takedowns, dude. And I don't know, just not the best look in the world. And going up against someone with the grappling skills of Jillian Robertson, dude. And honest, with this fight, the floor is lava for Michelle Watterson. If she goes to the ground, dude, it's over, man. It's over. So that being said, give me Jillian Robertson to probably submit Michelle Watterson at some point over this 3 rounds. But if not, it should be easy 30-27 win for Jillian Robertson. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I am leaning with you for Jillian Robertson. I think really, you look at Michelle Watterson, she's got, good footwork. Obviously, we know her karate background as she's coined the karate hottie, but yeah, we haven't really seen that fire in her last few fights, and she has really been getting outsized in the division in her last few fights as well. As you said, Marina Rodriguez really used her size to be able to use the takedowns against her, and Amanda Lemos was really able to kind of bully her around, and then once Michelle Watterson went for that sloppy takedown, that's when Amanda Lemos just really took her neck and took it home with her. So I think there's, Jillian Robertson is going to have the size advantage and have the grappling advantage. And Michelle Watterson can defend chokes pretty well for the most part, but I could see Jillian Robertson getting a submission as well. So yeah, give me Jillian Robertson here.
All right, me and D Rose both on Jillian the Savage Robertson. So we'll move on to the next fight, which I don't have pulled up yet because that was a quick one. You didn't talk about it too much.
Yeah, I think honestly, it wasn't too much to harp on after, you pretty much kind of nailed it the way I kind of see it too. And Michelle Watterson is just at the point in her career now. Kind of on that Tony Ferguson skid where, I think she gets one win. Fans are gonna be pumped for her, but yeah,
I would say more of Wonder Boy. They're both a karate hottie,
Yeah, but Stephen Thompson's actually, he's won a few here recently, unlike Michelle Watterson here. I can't remember the last time she won a fight. Dude, there's an era of fans right now who has not seen her win a fight. Like, that's just, that's crazy to say.
That's true. That's true. All right, dude. Let's move on to the next fight. And I want to give the stats, and I'm going to let you break this down. This is the dude that got kicked in the sack in France, and then the fight got called off and got caught a TKO win for William Gomi for Giannis Gamori. Yeah, dude. So this is going to be a fun fight. Yeah, you won't hear anyone else say this week. Peyton Talbot's going to win this fight. Let's get into it. Peyton Talbot is 8-0. He is going to be taking on Giannis, the Desert Warrior Gamori. Peyton Talbot is 8-0, and he is a fantastic fighter. Giannis Gomori is 12-2, and he got kicked in the sack versus William Gomi, and it got called a TKO. It's one of the most fucked up things you'll see. Currently, odds for this fight, minus 1,600 for Peyton Talbot, plus 900 for Giannis Gomori. Dude, the over-under on this is at 1.5 D-Rose, and I absolutely hate it. Minus 215 for over, and plus 165 for under. Peyton Talbot, 25 years old, 5'10", and a 70-inch reach, while Giannis Gomori is 29 years old, 5'9", and a 69-inch reach. He fights from a place called Climax Fight Academy that goes along with what y'all are commenting right now, so you guys have fun with that. Yeah, D-Rose, I'm going to pass this one to you and let you break it down first, man.
Yeah, we know Peyton Talbot, he's been a pretty surging prospect here for a little bit. I know you've been big on him from coming out of the Contender Series. And I mean, I thought really his last performance against Cameron Simon, I mean, I've noted how good Cameron Simon is, and I picked Cameron Simon in that fight, and I mean, he just absolutely walked right through Cameron Simon. I mean, with his striking, his boxing, I mean, literally just walked him down, just abused Cameron Simon until he, finally got that finish there. And yeah, I mean, he hurt Cameron Simon that whole fight. For Giannis in his last fight, he was giving William Gomi, I'm not going to say the most problems, but he was landing some in the striking game. But yeah, I just think Peyton Talbot, I just think, surging prospect. This is kind of one of those fights like he's fighting on a pretty big pay-per-view. He's going to be kicking off the TV prelim cards. This is definitely one of those fights that kind of boosts Peyton Talbot's stock, for him fighting on a big card right now. I think it's a setup fight for him to get a spectacular win. And I think Peyton Talbot gets it done, let's say, probably second, third round knockout. I'll probably play like a second, third round knockout thing. But yeah, I think Peyton Talbot gets done by knockout.
Fair enough. I'm not too far off. However, I'll probably take a stab at Peyton Talbot's submission props this week. Just because I think dude's not a terrible fighter, and he likes to shoot for takedowns quite a bit. So I could see some sort of guillotine ninja choke happening. Give me Peyton Talbot's second round submission here. I actually like this. Anthony's saying, I want to see Peyton Talbot versus Marcus McGee. That's a banger of a fight, D-Rose. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, now 2 prospects coming up as well. I know Marcus McGee is a little bit older. I know Peyton Talbot, he's pretty damn young. So, I mean, that could be a fight that we can see in the future. That would be a badass fight. But yeah, maybe while they're both kind of working their way up right now, maybe they can, maybe work their way up towards each other, maybe in the future or something like that.
And then House of Cardboard saying, y'all noticed that UFC 303 tickets priced below 300 now. Yeah, that's crazy because the cheapest one was like 1,500, and then now the cheapest one's like 300. I feel sorry for anyone that booked trips over here to go see Conor fight. I just feel bad for y'all, man. Sorry that happened. Dave says, who thought naming a gym Climax was a good idea? Hey, man,
I mean, I think that's a great idea. I mean, getting the fighters to the climax. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, man, I guess so. We're gonna move on to the next fight though, where we have Charles Air Jourdain taking on Gene Lord Assassin Silva. Yeah, dude, this is gonna be a fun fight. Charles Air Jourdain, 15-7-1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has won 2 and lost 3. Lost to Shane Burgos almost 2 years ago. Nathaniel Wood, decision loss. Kron Gracie, decision win. Choked out Ricardo Ramos, guillotine. And then lost to Sean Woodson via split decision. And fight that I don't think should have been a split decision, to be honest. Yeah, Gene Silva is 12-2 overall, won all 5 of his last 5. Knocked out Weston Wilson in his last fight, and on the Contender Series, barked at the guy he was fighting, Kevin Vallejos. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 118 for Charles Air Jourdain and minus 102 for Gene Silva. The over-under on this fight is 2.5 D-Rose. The over is 160 minus 166, and the under is plus 130. Yeah, D-Rose, this is a tough one for me to call, to be honest, and I don't have the easiest lean here. I see a lot of people going Air Jourdain just because he's the vet. He needs a win. He's coming off of a split decision loss. He's gonna have a fire lit under him, dude. But something about this fight just tells me the way that the judges have been scoring these fights, dude. If you put pressure in a person's face and just throw punches, land enough, dude, it doesn't matter what the other dude's doing. If you don't land a huge shot to knock that person down, dude, you're just going to win the round just due to pressure and jabs, dude. That's been happening a lot here lately. So give me Gene Silva to come out here, possibly in fight of the night, bark at Charles Air Jourdain, and give me Gene Silva to win this fight via decision as the slight dog, I believe. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah. Now I know we do have the coin phrase PBF, but this one is, we need to have like the opposite for like some type of coin phrase for like an absolute banger, because this is like a fight of the night type of contender right here. And honestly, I think should be could be considered for fight of the night if depending on what happens in that main event there. But yeah, Charles Jourdain, how big of a fan I am of him. He's got super good striking, good kickboxing. Uses his range well. Sometimes the biggest thing for Charles Jourdain does seem like he gets trouble getting going almost, and he kind of is a little bit of a slow starter, so he can kind of let his opponent kind of basically add up a little bit more on him, and as he gets warmed up as the fight goes, his opponent has already accumulated a lot of good favor in the judges' eyes, and that's where Charles Jourdain can kind of get behind the 8 ball there a little bit. And as you said, Gene Silva, the dude's an absolute dog. Dude's got great finishing instincts, good power in his hands, and good striking, good submission. Kind of has that. I know he doesn't fight out of shoot box necessarily, but he does kind of have
fighting
that
nerds.
similar
same thing. Not the same thing,
yeah,
but they're a great gym, just like shoot box.
Right, but just his style reminds me of that shoot the box style, just like his come forward style. Going for any type of finish that he can try to go for as far as striking or submissions. But I do think that Charles Jourdain is just a little bit. He's got a great chin. It's hard to hurt Charles Jourdain, really. I've never really seen the dude even like kind of wobbled a little bit. I think that's where Gene Silva, when he can really start getting that power going and knocking guys back, is when he can start utilizing his game. I think Charles Jourdain's a guy who's going to have good footwork. I think a little bit more technical striking. I think he's going to use a lot of leg kicks, a lot of teep kicks, and maybe keep Gene Silva at range here. And I think it goes a decision. And I think Charles Jourdain should be able to get the win here. So let's go Charles Jourdain by decision.
All right, me and D-Rose split on this one. I am on Gene Silva. The Lord Assassin is going to bark. And D-Rose is on Charles Air Jourdain, dude. Also a very, very fun fighter. So we'll move on to the next. What is Anthony saying? Fighting nerds making moves. Yeah, dude. I love the glasses like that they wear after they win, dude. Carlos Prate is one of my favorite dudes. Just out there smoking cigarettes, knocking dudes out. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next fight. Yeah, dude. How much more manly can you be? We'll move on to Killer Cub Swanson taking on Andre Touchy Feely, dude. In another pretty close. The odds I feel like should be a lot closer than what they are, dude, but they're not. But Killer Cub Swanson is 29-13 overall out of his last 5 fights, won 3 and lost 2, alternating. 10 months ago, a win over Mean Hakeem Dawodu. That's not very mean, to be honest. Lost to Jonathan Martinez via leg kicks, but that's what Jonathan Martinez does. Knocked out Darren Elkins, but that don't say a lot. And lost to Giga Chikadze, which, doesn't surprise me. And then Daniel Pineda. Knocked out Daniel Pineda 3 years ago, but that's a long time ago. On the other hand, Andre Touchy-Feely got knocked out by Dan Ige 4 months ago. Dude, 4 months ago? Jesus. Lucas Almeida knocked out Lucas Almeida 6 months ago, lost to Nathaniel Wood 11 months ago via decision. Bill Algeo split decision win a year ago, and then lost to Joe Anderson Brito via devastating knockout punch 2 years ago. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 200 for Cub Swanson, minus 245 for Andre Fili. Over under on this, D-Rose, is 2.5, and over 2.5 is minus 105. Under 2.5 is minus 125. Yeah. This is another tough fight for me to call, but I am going to go Andre Fili to win this fight via decision just by basically just staying busy. Jab, leg kick, touch, move. Cub Swanson going to be kind of chasing Andre Fili around the octagon. But, dude, Cub Swanson, if I ever see him come out there looking like he looked against Darren Elkins, dude, I'm immediately live betting Cub Swanson, dude. That was like the best Cub performance I've ever seen, but there was no danger against Darren Elkins. Yeah, dude, I have to go Andre Fili. I think just by the size and stuff. So let's get into that. Cub Swanson, 40 years old, 5'8" and a 70-inch reach, while Andre Fili, 34 years old, 5'11" and a 74-inch reach. And that's the main reason. The size and reach, footwork, just a little bit younger, dude. Just give me Andre Fili to outpace Cub Swanson all 3 rounds. He could knock out Cub Swanson, dude. Max Holloway is famous for saying no one has hit him harder than Andre Fili, dude. So I don't know. Could knock out Cub Swanson, but dude, yeah, I'm still going to Andre Fili via decision here. Which way are you going here, man? And I'm gonna
I definitely
while you talk about this one.
Yeah, I definitely do not like the betting odds on this fight. I mean, just in terms of Andre Fili being that big of a favorite, considering that he's coming off of, as Matt said, pretty brutal knockout, not that long ago. I mean, I think you can make the argument that the Danny Ige and Andre Fili knockout was the knockout of the year before Max ended up taking that mantle and running with it. But I do think that this should be a fun fight. We know Killer Cub. We know the kind of background that he comes in with. He comes in with that unorthodox striking. It's hands down, but kind of shoulder rolling and looking to land good counters and utilizes kicks and stuff as well. Andre Fili, just as the name implies, touchy feely. He's going in to he's putting a lot of volume on you. Combos, all that type of stuff in the boxing. So, and he can mix it up as well with the grappling, and he's got a few submission wins as well. Training at a Team Alpha Male, he's going to always have that wrestling background, training with those guys. Man, I swear I want to pick Cub. And he ended up beating Hakeem Dawodu in his last fight, and he actually looked very well in that. He looked great in that fight. You know what I mean? So, the only thing that's worrying me is what you said, the range. Andre Fili is good about using his range, but you know what? Man, Dan Ige was able to also close that range and land a big power shot. Man, I want to go Cub. I like Cub. Big fan, and I like Andre Fili as well. But yeah, I think Cub Swanson get in range. Maybe in the clinch, use a little bit of that dirty boxing. Make it an ugly scrap fight. You cannot let Andre Fili stand at range and basically jab him apart. So Cub Swanson's going to have to get into a dog fight. But Cub Swanson's definitely used to that, as we've seen him in these dog fights in the past. But let's go Cub Swanson here.
All right, me and D-Rose split on this one. I am on Andre Touchy Fili. D-Rose is on Killer Cub Swanson. And Christopher, we'll be there in just a few fights, man. We are about midway up the main card right now. Dave Fish for Day is going Shama, and so is Anthony. So we'll move on to the next one, where we got Joe Body Bags Pfeiffer taking on Mark Andre Power Bar Barrio. Body Bags Joe Pfeiffer 12-3 overall. Power Bar Mark Andre Barrio 16-7 out of Joe Pyfer's last 5 fights. Won 4, lost his last fight 4 months ago to Jack Hermanson via decision in a 5-round main event where he just, kind of got outclassed, man. But yeah, taught him the vet lesson. On the other hand, power bar Marc-Andre Barrios, 16-7 out of his last 5 fights. He has won 3 and lost 2. Lost a split decision to Chris Curtis. Eric Anders decision to win. Julian Marquez knocked him out, but that says nothing. Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy, submission. And then Jordan Wright, submission. Yeah, dude, this is a perfect fight for Joe Pyfer to come back to and actually see where he lies at. Currently, odds for this fight, minus 290 for Joe Pyfer, plus 230, plus 235 for Marc-Andre Barrios. Over under on this is 2.5, over 2.5, plus 110, under 2.5, minus 140. Joe Pyfer, 27 years old, 6'2", 75-inch reach, while Marc-Andre Barrios, 34 years old, 6'1", and a 74-inch reach. Yeah, D Rose. Joe Pyfer is even going to have a height and reach advantage over Marc-Andre Barrios that tries to come forward and do what his name implies, power bar. Just try to come forward, put the pressure on you, and break you, dude. And I think if he comes forward, he's going to end up eating a hook and end up getting knocked out, dude. So, if this fight plays out the way Joe Pyfer would like this fight to play out, I think he would probably like this fight to go to decision, just a clean 3 rounds, just to show himself that he ain't going to gas out, like he did in his last fight. So this fight could go 2 different ways. Joe Pyfer via decision, or if Marc-Andre Barrios comes out there and tries to do power bar things, come out there and just put the jab on you over the 3 rounds, and he's going to come out there and eat a jab in the first, or he's going to come out there, try to throw a jab and end up getting slip countered, end up knockout in the first. But yeah, give me Joe Pyfer to win this fight via decision, hoping that Marc-Andre Barrios will stay safe, take Jack Hermanson's game plan. But dude, I don't know if it goes, but that's what I'm going. Joe Pyfer decision. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, honestly, this is a super interesting fight, and one that is a lot closer than the betting and lines are kind of letting us know right now, because Joe Pyfer, coming off Dana White Contender Series, beat Joe Pyfer. He had a lot of momentum coming in, and and we had even said going into that fight, both of us had said we felt like it was a quick jump for Joe Pyfer to get to Jack Hermanson. Because Jack Hermanson is a tried and true veteran of the game. I did think that Joe Pyfer was going to win that fight, but I even felt that it was like a very big jump up for him. I felt like Marc-Andre Barrios is that type of proper jump up. But I will say that Marc-Andre Barrios does hold some of that similar stuff that Jack Hermanson has that was able to defeat Joe Pyfer in that last fight. I think the only thing that's panning out in Joe Pyfer's favor right now is that it's a 3-round fight versus a 5-round fight, where Jack Hermanson was able to get him tired as the later rounds went. And I think Marc-Andre Barrios, while he does have that similar style, you can see that he had even started slowing down toward the end of that Chris Curtis fight, because Chris Curtis was able to put some good body work into there. But there was a very good argument that you can make that Marc-Andre Barrios won that Chris Curtis fight, man. So I really am up in the air on this. As far as betting wise, I'm not gonna lie. I got like a long shot parlay with Joe Pyfer, but other than that, I'm not going to play this in a lot of bets, because I don't think that. I don't like the lines on this fight, just because I think this fight's a lot closer than what the betting lines are indicating here. I want to go Joe Pyfer. Not gonna lie, I'm not confident though. I'm not that confident. I don't think he knocks Power Bar out. Power Bar's got a great chin. I know he got blasted by Chitty, but other than that, that's the only time he's ever been knocked out in his career. And he's got a great style to go against Joe Pyfer. So I'm going Joe Pyfer here, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not the most confident right now.
Fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on body bags. Joe Pyfer, you want to laugh real quick, D-Rose?
Let's do it.
Here we go. We've got Sister of Destruction. I'm a pro MMA fighter. Better watch out. And we've got Dave's reply. Dave.
Hey, not as
one kick and you will fly on moon. I think we have a child in here, dude.
yeah, either that or
Awesome.
someone who English isn't their first language. Yeah, exactly. I knew that was the. I knew that was the. I knew that's what it was.
It's funny.
But
It's
yeah, I
hilarious.
mean, where's Mick the Big at when we need him?
Right.
We got Mick the Big in here. Is Mick the Big in the comments? Like we need Mick the Big in this person to go out of here.
Yeah, right. Where's Mick to Big?
Mick the Big. Mick the Big.
This is the Golden Octagon. Oh my goodness. Anyway, with that being said, D Rose, let's get into, I believe, the featured fight. Oh no, it's not. That is a lie. This is not the featured fight of the night. I wish this was the featured fight of the night. But we got D Rose's favorite fight.
Co-main event.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
If you give me just a second, got to use the restroom just real quick. Bear back.
All right. Well, I will get into the next fight. Ian Machado Gary taking on Michael Venom Page. So Ian, the future Machado Gary is 14-0 overall. MVP is 22-2. Obviously, Ian Gary has never lost a fight, and his last 5 wins were Gabe Green decision, Song Kanan third round knockout, Daniel Rodriguez first round knockout, Neil Magny decision win, and then a Jeff Neal split decision win in a pretty close fight. On the other hand, MVP, this will be his second fight in the UFC. His only fight so far was a unanimous decision win over the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 155 for Ian Gary and plus 130 for Michael Venom Page. The over-under on this is set at 2.5, minus 210 for over and plus 160 for under. Ian Gary, 26 years old, 6'3" and a 74-inch reach, while MVP is 37 years old, 6'3" and a 79-inch reach. Hear someone coming, so I think D-Rose might be coming back. So, yeah. With that being said, now that I've broken it down, this is another one this is another one that I have kind of gone back and forth on all week, and another one that is super hard for me to call, to be honest. I think I was leaning Ian Gary, dude, just because the distance and space. But dude, you think about just the finishes the MVP has. I know not in the UFC, dude, but you can't just kick someone and their bones break. It doesn't matter what organization they're in, dude. If you're kicking people and their bones are breaking, that's something, man. So I think I'm forced to go with the dog here, dude. The Kevin Holland win was very impressive to me, even though the fight was kind of ass. Not gonna lie, fight kind of sucked. Yeah, Michael Venom Page showed that, he's game and he's UFC level at least. So give me MVP to give Ian Gary his first loss. And are you ready for this? Give me MVP to knock out Ian Gary, dude. Which way are you going here?
Man, this is one of those fights where, yeah, I'm a big fan of both fighters, and I've told you for a long time that I've been a big MVP fan, and him coming over from Bellator, I thought that he was going to be a great addition to the UFC, and a bunch of people calling him a can bandit, and saying that he's fighting a lot of cans and stuff like that. And sure, early in his career, did he fight a lot of cans? Sure, you can make the argument that he did not fight that great of fighters early on in his career, but as he did progress, he did get a lot of big names like Paul Daly and Douglas Lima and Logan Storley, and he's fought for the title in Bellator as well, and he did fight a lot of really good guys over there, and yeah, I've always been a big fan of him. And Gary, we know the danger that he possesses in his striking, always looking to walk forward, but always use that range, good with setting up his shots as well, just like how he set up that headshot against D-Rod. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is one that I've been going back and forth on it, man. And yeah, I picked MVP in that Kevin Holland fight, and yeah, man, the only thing I'm not gonna lie that's making me hesitate is I heard Ian Gary in his his press conference earlier, and just the confidence that dude is exuding right now. Like, dude, it's making me not want to pick against him because it's almost like he knows something that we don't yet. Especially considering the fact that he's 26, 27 right now. So he's still kind of hitting that pinnacle in his career where I don't know if there's really a level up point for MVP. So that's the only thing that's got me a little bit hesitant. But I'm going to go MVP as well here. Yeah, I think MVP gets it done. I'm going to say by decision. I think it ends up being a little bit of a slower fight. Maybe not necessarily a staring contest, but I think this ends up being. I thought the Kevin Holland fight was fine for MVP. I thought the MVP did some fun stuff in there, even though he didn't get the finish that maybe everybody wanted. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a slower, technical, point fighting type of fight, and I just think MVP is going to land the bigger power shots to kind of edge it out in the judge's mind. But let's go MVP by decision.
All right, me and D-Rose both on MVP. The only thing that I would say, D-Rose, and I will probably throw like 5 or 10 at it, is Ian Gary by sub, just because, dude, I feel like every Ian Gary fight, I'm like, dude, him by sub. Like he has subs in his past, dude, and we haven't seen it in the UFC yet. Dude, this would be the perfect fight too, right? MVP, he's a fantastic striker. Take him down. He's been training with Charles Oliveira, dude. This would be the perfect time to implement your submission game. So I'll probably throw a few dollars at that just to kind of cover myself. It is plus 1,000 D-Rose for Ian Gary by sub, so it's worth a shot. We got Alex saying, "What's up, Golden Octagon? Just got home from work. Keep on doing great content." I appreciate that, Alex. Thanks for the kind words, brother. We got Riley. He's got Gary. Dave saying, "I ain't mad at you." Yeah. Ian Gary is a good fighter. He gets a lot of hate, but he's still a good fighter, and it's a close fight. As I said, I was going back and forth. D-Rose said he was going back and forth, but me and D-Rose both end up landing on MVP to win the fight. Matt, what the bomb? You don't want to have me.
It doesn't ride.
Will Ian cry again? He is gonna get the job done here. He could. Anthony, you're a hater. Yeah, it happens. We have haters everywhere, man. Gary will do what it takes to win. Possibly. Ian almost got slept by Asian dude. He was out. That is true. 50K late. 50K touched and felt feeling. Yeah, indeed. Song Kanan dropped in bad. He's a no one. Okay. All right. So with that being said, D-Rose, I believe we are going to move on to your favorite fight of the card, believe it or not, where we have Myra Bueno Shitara Silva taking on, I believe, Louisiana, I believe. No, fighting out of Texas. Texas's Macy Chasson, dude. Oh, I know you're ready for this, man. I can just see your body vibrating at this point, man. In your words, this should have been the headliner to the card, dude. Like, this is the one that you have been pumped up all night to talk about. So I'm not going to hold you up anymore, man. Shitara Myra Bueno Silva, 10-3-1 overall out of our last 5 fights. 1 loss, 1 no contest, where she choked out Holly Holm on Adderall medication. And then Lena Landsberg, knee bar, Stephanie Egger, arm bar, and Wu Yaonan decision win. On the other hand, Macy Chasson looked very good in her last fight over Penny Kianzad. Rear naked choke win. Irene Aldana upkick to the liver. Watch out for that. Norma Dumont split decision win, and Raquel Pennington lost 2 years ago. And then 3 years ago, Marion Renault decision win. Currently, odds for this fight, D-Rose, are -110 apiece, split down the middle. Over under is 2.5. Over -188, and under is +145. I don't like any of those odds. Mario Bueno Silva, 32 years old, 5'6" and a 66-inch reach. Wow. Macy Chasson, 32 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. I say this every single time Macy Chasson fights, dude. If she makes weight, it's going to be a problem, dude. She comes to fight, dude, and if she can make weight and the fight happens, dude, it's an issue, dude, because she's a huge girl for 135. She struggled to make 145, dude. So if she makes weight, it's going to be an issue, dude. Yeah, I won't be betting this fight. Give me Mayra Bueno Silva to lose this fight. Give me Macy Chasson to win this fight. I believe Macy Chasson wins this fight via decision. Mostly because I don't like Mayra Bueno Silva. But that's neither here nor there. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, that, and I'm sure where Mayra Bueno Silva kind of screwed you on the pick champ earlier in the year, picking her against Rocky. I'm sure that probably still has a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth. So yeah, I necessarily don't blame you there. And yeah, a bathroom break. I mean, bro, you might be good to run down to the store and, you know, maybe go grab you like, oh shit, dude, I forgot to go get me a beer real quick. I'm just run to the store real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Yeah, this is definitely one of those fights. This is the PBF of the night.
Oh, the pay-per-view.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. PBF of the main card, 100%. Macy Chasson is just the better overall fighter, in my opinion. Yeah, Mayra Bueno Silva does have submission threats. Her takedown defense, or her takedowns are not good. Her striking is not that great. She's got decent kicks, but as far as her hands are terrible. I mean, I think, you know, Macy Chasson, in my opinion, would have to do a lot to really give Mayra Bueno an opportunity to win this fight, because I think Macy Chasson is just better all around. So let's go Macy Chasson by decision here.
Yeah, dude, you just got to think about it. Mayra Bueno Silva fought a few times comfortably down at 125. Macy Chasson has missed weight multiple times at 140 and 145, dude. And I know size isn't the biggest thing, but in women's MMA, it makes a difference. So I believe,
especially in grappling.
Yeah, I believe me and you are both on Macy Chasson in this fight.
Macy Chasson. Yeah.
All right, we'll
100%.
move on to the next one. I know you hate that we got to move on, but we do have to move on to one that we are split on, D-Rose. And Anthony Lionheart Smith taking on the Caucasian Roman Dolidze at 205 pounds. Anthony Lionheart Smith is 37-19 out of his last 5 fights, lost 3, won 2. Last win over Vitor Petrino. Ended the undefeated streak. And lost to Khalil Roundtree via knockout 6 months ago. Ryan Spann split decision win 9 months ago. Maybe. Johnny Walker loss, and then Magomed Ankalaev loss a year ago. On the other hand, Roman Dolidze, he's 12-3, and out of his last 5 fights, he is 1-3 and lost 2. Knocked out Kyle Dawkins, knocked out Phil Halls, knocked out Jack Hermanson. Marvin Vettori decision loss, and then Nasruddin Imavov decision loss. Anthony Smith, 35 years old, 6'4" and a 76-inch reach, while Roman Dolidze is 35 years old, 6'2" and a 76-inch reach as well. D-Rose, I know what the stats say. But watch on weigh-in day. If Anthony Smith and Roman Dolidze are not the same size, dude, I bet they are. And once they are the same size, I'm going to feel so confident that Roman Dolidze is about to crush Anthony Smith, dude. I think Anthony Smith I'm a fan of Lionheart, dude. I got a picture with the guy. But yeah, dude, this is just short notice fight against an absolute power puncher that is Roman Dolidze, dude. Got power on the feet, And D Rose, I believe he's the stronger grappler. I believe if this goes to the ground, I believe Roman will probably have no problem reversing Anthony Smith on the ground. And he's going to get reversed and probably ground and pound and knocked out. Roman, I don't think he's ever been finished, dude. And in his last fight went 5 rounds. So I don't think Anthony Smith's going to finish Roman. Yeah, dude, give me Roman. Second round TKO over Anthony Smith. The Caucasian Roman Dolidze gets the dub. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, interesting fight. Again, a fight for me that really doesn't make sense. I know the UFC scrambling to put this thing together, but yeah, no, you're right. That is a terrible nickname. I mean, just name yourself the Georgian. Yeah, I mean, just call yourself the Georgian. I mean, why the Caucasian? But no,
he's from the Caucasus, the mountains in Georgia.
Right. I know, but it's still awful. That's why I said, why not call yourselves a Georgian at this point? Or
the mountain.
But no, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. That would yeah, that'd be like me calling myself like the mountains or something like that, or like the I don't know, just some random bullshit from this town. You know what I mean? Like it's dumb. But in terms of this fight,
the Blue Demon Rose.
Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, dude, I love the fight. I think they match up well against one another. For me, I think Roman, as you said, big power in his hands, good submission skills. His background is mostly grappling, and he's just kind of developed the striking as he's going on with his MMA career. And for Anthony Smith, we know, all the wars that he's been through, how many UFC fights that he's had at this point. I think for me, I'm going to Anthony Smith here, man. I think that Anthony Smith, in that last Vitor Petrino fight really showed me a little bit of something. And I think, as you said, look at the stat sheet, man, I think that Anthony Smith, the thing that's going to make me feel better about Anthony Smith, even if they might match up eye to eye, Anthony Smith, there's an era of fans who have not seen Anthony Smith down at 185 and did not see him make the transition to 205. When he first made the transition to 205, he was a blown-up middleweight fighting a light heavyweight. He was smaller, lankier, but he had a big speed advantage. As he has developed his career at 205, his body is more conformed to the weight class. So I think he has built up a much bigger density in his body to be able to sustain big shots from a lot of the power punchers. And
D-Rose, tell me he's 6'4", dude.
He's probably 6. Let's say 6'3", but he is leaning in too. Yeah, he's leaning in.
I think he was probably one of the guys when I was like, he's a big guy, but dude, when I saw Josh Fremd, I was like, holy shit, he's tall, dude. But Anthony Smith was exactly what I expected. Like he wasn't this giant guy or anything like that. I just feel like maybe the stats are a little bit fudged, dude.
And all the athletics and stuff like that, people always fudge their numbers just a little bit. I mean, like I said, sure, he's going to be 6'3", but I think his body is going to be more formed in terms of his weight and density is going to be formed to the weight class. I think he's going to utilize leg kicks. And to me, I mean, Roman does have a power advantage, but he doesn't necessarily have a striking advantage because Roman he just throws big punches. He doesn't set anything up. He doesn't have great combinations or anything. He's just winging big punches and trying to land a big shot. And I think it's going to take a lot more than that to really get Anthony Smith out of there. And I believe Anthony Smith is going to be able to hold his own in the grappling as well, just because we know how good his jiu-jitsu is, and he's got really good takedown defense as well. So, yeah, to me, I think this is Anthony Smith's fight to lose. I'm surprised that he's the underdog. But yeah, I'm definitely taking advantage of that, and I'm going to be betting on that this weekend. And yeah, let's go Anthony Smith. I think he gets it done by decision.
All right, me and D-Rose split on another one. I am on the Caucasian Roman Dolidze, D-Rose on Anthony Lionheart Smith. We were already there. Anthony Smith works Peloton easily. Yeah, in Anthony Smith's mind, he for sure does, dude. Damn, you must be tall as fuck. He towered over me in the one picture I had with him. I'm like roughly 6 feet tall. I'm around there. So we'll move on to the, you know what, just to, because we're moving on to the not the co-main event. Yeah, it is the co-main event. Diego Lopez, Brian Ortega. Yeah, this is me next to Diego Lopez, dude. And it's like, dude, you can argue that Anthony Smith is like an inch taller than Diego Lopez, dude.
Crazy.
It's kind of wild, dude. It's kind of wild. But yeah, that's me with Diego Lopez.
I think the strength's got to be a little bit different.
Huh?
I got to think the strength between the two is going to be just a little bit different. Plus, again, Anthony Smith was leaning in there a little bit more with you versus standing straight up like Diego Lopez.
Yeah, true that. Yeah. Let's see. Anthony Smith barely beat some random dude up that broke into his house. Yeah, but that dude was on like some kind of crack or something. I wouldn't want to fight a crackhead either. Like that's absolutely nuts. So let's move on. Co-main event, D Rose. Believe, achieve, and make it happen. Diego Lopez taking on T-City, Brian Ortega. Man, this is a tough. I love the fight, but man, two of my absolute favorite fighters, dude. T-City, Brian Ortega, 16-3 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has lost 3 and won 2. Last win over Yair Rodriguez with the arm triangle, and before that, lost shoulder injury to Yair Rodriguez. Before that, lost a decision to Alexander Volkanovski. Beat up Chan Sung Jung, dude. That's been almost 4 years ago, dude. He has only fought one time, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there because it's 5 years ago at this point. Diego Lopez, on the other hand, came into the UFC or lost to Joe Anderson Brito on the Contender Series. Came into the UFC short notice. Movsar Evloev decision loss. But yeah, dude's impressed a lot of people. And since then, Gavin Tucker, submission, arm triangle. Pat Sabatini absolutely snoozed his ass. And dude, 2 months ago, Sadiq Yusuf, dude. And I think this was an eye-opener to a lot of people, dude, because a lot of people think Super Sadiq Yusuf is really good. I am not on that bandwagon. But yeah, dude, this opened up a lot of people's eyes to this kid being a possible title challenger, dude. So currently odds for this fight, plus 120 for T-City, Brian Ortega, minus 142 for Diego Lopez. Over under at this is 2.5. Over is plus 105. Under minus 135. T-City, Brian Ortega, 33 years old, 5'8", 69-inch reach. Diego Lopez, 29 years old, 5'11", and a 72.5-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose. A lot of narrative going into this short notice fight for both guys. Yeah, man. I've been T-City fan for the absolute longest, dude. I love how the dude can just be getting his ass absolutely whooped. And then round 3, dude just comes in, just fucking wraps his arm around someone's head like this and somehow pulls some shit out, fucking guillotine out of absolute nowhere, dude. Hanato, like Moicano fight just comes to mind, dude. Dude, Hanato was whooping his ass, dude, and then just like that, dude, just comes back out of nowhere, scoops something up, and that's the end, dude. I love T-City, dude, but I do love this kid, Diego Lopez, dude. Jiu-jitsu coach at Alexa Grasso and Irina Aldana's Lobo gym. Yeah, dude, it's just there's something about this kid, man. I don't know what it is. It's like he's got a rocket strapped on his back, dude, and someone already lit that motherfucker. He's already blasting, dude, and I don't want to try to catch this fucking thing because I'm gonna fly too, dude. Yeah, I love T-City Brian Ortega, but one thing that's came out and made me feel a certain way during this fight week, dude, was him saying this is his last fight at 145. That after this fight, he's got to go up to 155. That the weight cut's too much on him. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Brian Ortega submitted. Well, I know we've never seen him submitted. We haven't ever seen him knocked out. We've seen the doctor stoppage in between rounds, but that's not him getting like knocked out. And also we haven't seen Diego Lopez finished either, dude. This is going to be another one that's hard to call. This is a fantastic fight, dude. But I like the under in this fight. I'm going to put that out there. Minus 135 under 2.5 rounds. I don't hate that. I believe both fighters are live to finish the other fighter. But I think I'm going to go with Diego Lopez. Round 2 knockout, man. Believe it or not. Yeah, let's go Diego Lopez. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, this one's one of those tough fights as well that I know, throwback fans like yourself and myself and, a lot of people are big supporters of T-City here. Man, there are people who, as you said, have not seen like the Renato Moicano fight, like when he submitted Cub Swanson and, just kind of his run to the title shot initially against Max was all literally like third round comebacks because he was, basically getting smashed, early in those fights and, was getting these wild finishes late. Like I still remember his fight against Clay Guida when, Clay Guida in 2016 is kind of like walking Brian Ortega down and, all of a sudden in the third round, Brian Ortega just throws this flying knee and just sends Clay Guida flying, just KO'd him. So, T-City, big fan of him. Again, Diego Lopez, we know the danger that he brings. The dude is an absolute bullet coming out and as soon as the fight starts, like he almost kind of reminds me of when Conor, like just in terms of the way he starts a fight. Like when Conor McGregor starts a fight, like, dude, the first 60 seconds, there is not a better fighter in the world than Conor McGregor when he's motivated. Like, dude, he comes out like a ball of fire and he's looking to take your head off within the first 60 seconds. And I think Diego Lopez, yeah, exactly. Diego Lopez is another one of those. It's the same way, as you said, per request of I believe it was before the Pat Sabatini fight when he fought on the MSG card last year. That I got you to, make my hair like that because, I was definitely hyped. Diego Lopez has been just an absolute rocket ship. But man, I'm going to go T-City, dude. Sure. I'm going to go T-City here and
putting the hair on the line.
Reason why
putting the hair on the line.
The reason why is because the dudes that Diego Lopez has beaten, while they are good, and I think highly Sadiq Yusuf, even though I have picked Diego Lopez to beat all three of those guys, Gavin Tucker, Pat Sabatini, and Diego Lopez or Sadiq Yusuf, all three of those fighters, when they, especially Sadiq Yusuf, when you put a little bit of pressure on them, start landing big strikes and stuff like that, you can find ways to put them away. Dude, you're not putting Brian Ortega away. Like, you're not. Like, I mean, we saw what it literally took a doctor to come in and save Brian Ortega from himself because he had a broken orbital and he still wanted to fight with it while his eye was completely shut. Like, Max was beating the dog shit out of him. And it's still like Brian Ortega was still standing in there and throwing shots, like trying to still land. And it only took the doctor to stop the fight. We saw Volkanovski turn his face into ground beef in their fight in that third round once Volk finally got out of the submissions and T-City was gassed out. And T-City still could not be finished then as well. So, I don't think Diego Lopez can finish Brian Ortega. And if I'm being honest, I think that's the only way that he can beat Ortega because I think Brian Ortega has more versatile striking, just as great as jiu-jitsu. And I think Brian Ortega is going to be able to I think it might turn into like a little bit of a grappler striking fight. Like, two grapplers end up negating their grappling. So they end up turning into a little bit of a striking battle. And I think Ortega ends up getting the better of it with big shots that he can land, versatility in his strikes with elbows.
It's going to be a scrap.
It's working the clinch. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a scrap, man. I just think T-City's got a little bit more tools and a little bit more battle tested at this point. So let's go. Let's go T-City here by decision.
D-Rose putting the hair on the line. That means if Diego Lopez wins this fight, back to bald in the thumbnail, D-Rose.
Hey, this
but
is
if Brian
the.
Ortega wins, you can keep the hair. You can keep the hair. If
I
Brian
see.
Ortega
You would think it would be the other way around because he
nah,
was just
like
proven wrong.
if you pick against them and you're wrong, like that the hair's gone. But you can if you pick against them and you're right, you can keep the hair. I'll let you keep it.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
So
because
that was
he proved me wrong, right? Like,
yeah. So that
no,
way,
I'm trying to find a way to justify keeping the
no.
hair, but
you picked against them. If you lose, you'll lose the hair. You'll get your Prochazka's hair for, for the remainder of the fight. We'll get like Vinicius Salvador's hair.
Hey,
You
I
remember
will,
the thing right in the front when it's just like the little patch in the front, dude.
maybe I could do the Benicio Salvador and the Charles Johnson at the same time.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah, that'd be sick. Just the middle ball, dude. You have a little patch up front and some CJ in the back. All right, dude. Let's get in. Main event time. I hope you guys like this card, and hopefully you like this video as well, because me and D-Rose are, here giving you our breakdowns every single fight on this card. So, if you guys haven't already, please hit a thumbs up button on this video. And if you're not subscribed yet, come on now. What you doing? Help your boys out. We got Alex Pereira taking on Yuri Dinesa, or BJP Prochazka. Whew, I love this fight, man. Alex Pereira, 10-2 overall out of his last 5 fights. He has won 4, lost 1. Knockout over Izzy. Knocked out by Izzy. Split decision win over Jan Blachowicz. Jamal Hill. Yuri Prochazka knockout. And then Jamal Hill knockout 2 months ago. When was the Yuri Prochazka? 7 months ago. That was Yuri Prochazka, or that was not Yuri Prochazka's last fight. Yuri Prochazka's last fight was 2 months ago. Alexander Rakic, second round knockout. He lost Alex Pereira 7 months ago. This is the rematch, obviously. Glover Teixeira, rear naked choke submission win, knocked out Dominic Reyes, and then Volkan Oezdemir 3 years ago. But yeah, currently odds for this fight, -135 plus 114. Very close odds for this fight happening not too long ago, and we having a knockout, dude. Alex Pereira is 36 years old, 6'4", and an 80-inch reach, while Yuri Prochazka is 31 years old, 6'3", also with an 80-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to let you break this one down and pick first, man.
Yeah, this one's obviously like I said, super fun fight, and if anything, I can make the argument that I'm more excited for it. Even this one being a rematch, I'm more excited for this fight than I am for McGregor Chandler. And I mean, partly is because the stare down that's going to happen before the fight. I mean, dude, going into their last fight, I mean, I was on pins and needles watching them stare off against one another. I don't know if you remember that, but dude, I remember I was like, dude, I'm scared. I'm terrified right now. Both of them are just such an intense stare down. And that's like, the fight before the fight where my nerves start getting built up a little bit. And of course, Yuri, he showed how dangerous he was in his last fight. I mean, dude, I bet against Yuri in his last fight, and I was literally cheering for him as my parlay was on the line. Like, I picked Rakic, I bet him, and I still wanted Yuri to win because one, I'm a fan of Yuri, and two, that's how much I did not want Alexander Rakic to even be near any title contention in the UFC. So yeah, good on Yuri for getting Rakic out of there. But if I'm being honest, I think this fight sets up exactly how I thought the first one would, and kind of how the first one played out. That I think Yuri did say in his press conference going in this week that he is going to be more aware of the leg kicks, and that he's going to be a little bit more mindful, but still try to keep that same type of forward style pressure that he likes to use. While that is his fight style, man, that's just Alex Pereira is the wrong dude to do that against. I mean, got to break out the Gotta break out the Alex Pereira shirt here. Because I think Poatan gets it done again, man. I know the first fight, controversial finish. I even said it, it was a little early, yes, maybe, but I do think Alex Pereira was ultimately going to win the fight in the end anyway. And I think that Yuri, for his style, love the dude. He always puts on an absolute entertaining fight. It's just a wrong style to have against Alex Pereira, man, because if you stand at range, he's going to absolutely chop your legs down. As soon as you step into range, he's looking to slip. And Alex Pereira, he's looking to slip, but he's not only looking just to slip your punch, he's looking to set up that left hook some way, somehow. Even in that last fight, he used kind of like that little right hand just to push him into the left hook. And I think that's what ends up being Yuri's demise, is walking in the big shots and ultimately getting caught, and Alex Pereira getting him out of there. So I think Alex Pereira gets a knockout, probably somewhere in the second, third roundish, maybe. But yeah, let's go Alex here.
Yeah. I feel you, D-Rose. I understand why you went that way. I'm on the other way. I'm probably, dude, if Yuri's fighting, dude, I'm like jumping up, like screaming at my TV, dude. I can't help it. I'm a huge Yuri Prochazka fan. It's hard for me to pick a winner in this fight. But one thing that I do have in basically every single one of my bets that I have made, and I already have a lot of bets made, probably like $60 bet on this card, D-Rose, and I usually bet like 30 on the card as a whole. So I already have usually about double what I bet as a whole. What I have parlayed up and everything is this fight to not start round 4. Currently, this fight to start round 4, is minus 235. I think that's an excellent parlay piece. But yeah, I am going to go Yuri Prochazka, second round knockout. Let's go, Yuri, baby. Channel the chakras and fucking blast them. Come on, Yuri. You got it, man. You got it. He's asked Alex Pereira to not use any of his shamanistic witchcraft this week, dude. he's asked him to come in here and fight man to man just with skills, dude.
I will ask him not to. They said, will you ask him not to bring the spiritual guidances with him into the octagon? And Yuri's like, yes, I will ask him this.
Dude, here's what's going to happen. It's going to be round 2's going to start. Like fucking Yuri's going to come out there. He's going to get jabbed. He's going to be like, ah! And then he's going to fucking go wild, dude. Just fucking, it's going to end it. Yuri Prochazka, second round knockout. Dude, I love this fight. I would probably watch this fight every fucking weekend, dude. Two of the most fun fighters in the world, man. Going to be a great fight again. And we got the loyal Lush Lemaine helping us out here. You guys pick different on Simon versus Oliveira, Jourdain versus Silva, Swanson versus Feely, Smith versus Delize, Ortega versus Lopez, and Pereira versus Prochazka. So it being a pay-per-view, we would like to have 5 different picks for this pick champ and the good old bean eating for probably going to be Saturday night after the fights, correct? Because there's no fights next weekend, so I don't know if we'll have a podcast next week, D-Rose.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about it sounds about right. Hopefully I can right the ship this week. And yeah, I think if I'm to drop one off of here, probably going to go ahead and drop Cub Swanson and Andre Feely. That is one I am the least confident on in all those picks. But other than that, I think Simone Oliveira, feel very good about Oliveira, and Jourdain, Anthony Smith, Ortega, and Alex. So yeah, I feel good about all those. Let's go for a clean sweep this week.
All right. So for the bean eating, Saturday night after the fights, our 5 different picks will be Simon Oliveira. I'm sorry, Ricky Simon versus I forgot the dude's name. Is it
Vinicius Oliveira? I kept saying
Oliveira?
Salvador.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I am
Yes, I know I
on.
threw you off earlier.
I am on Ricky Simone, D Rose on Vinicius Oliveira. Our second different fight is Charles Air Jourdain versus Gene Silva, where I'm on Gene Silva, D Rose on Charles Air Jourdain. We are throwing out Swanson versus Feely. So if any of the other fights fall out, we'll insert that one. But if needed, I got Feely, D Rose got Swanson. Our third different actual fight that we will be counting is Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze versus Roman. That was a tongue twister. D Rose is on Anthony Smith. I am on Roman Dolidze. Fourth different fight is T City versus Diego Lopez, where I am on Diego Lopez. D Rose is on T City. And our fifth and final different fight this weekend for all the beans, pick champ, is the main event, Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka, where I am on Yuri Prochazka. D Rose is on Alex Pereira for the second time. That's where we picked last time as well, D Rose. So Dave dropping that Shama craft in there, indeed. Yeah, so that is our picks, predictions, news, recap from last weekend, all that good shit. We truly appreciate y'all for stopping by here. If y'all haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button. D Rose, you got anything before we get out of here, man? And yeah. Do you want to come to Change the Cheddar Friday? And yeah, all that good shit.
Yeah, we'll be here for Change Chat on Friday. So, yeah, we'll be good to go with that. And yeah, I'll be doing a little bit more gambling research. Hopefully, I haven't checked the props on the prelims just yet, just to see if they have dropped.
They haven't dropped yet. Nah, not yet.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say I know as of last night when I looked, they weren't on there yet. So.
The only thing I have right now is Cub Swanson. Andre Feely is the farthest down the card I have.
Yeah. So I would
we're
say
still missing Silva, Jourdain, Peyton Talbot, Jillian Robertson, Andre Arlovsky, Ricky Simone Oliveira, and Carlos Hernandez. Like, we're still missing about half the card still. So
yeah, I think we'll have some good props for you guys on Friday, because there's already a few that I kind of have in mind, but yeah, we'll go ahead and save that for this coming up Friday as well.
Indeed. So with that being said, thank you all very much for stopping by and hanging out with us over here on the Golden Octagon tonight. My name is Matt, and D Rose is on this side of your screen. Yeah, we truly appreciate y'all for stopping by, and catch us right back here Friday for Change of Cheddar. We'll give y'all some bets, and yeah, on a little bit of a roll. I feel like I've been doing pretty good these past few weeks, hoping to keep it up this past weekend, maybe hit a big one this upcoming weekend. But yeah, with that being said, I'll be live right here tomorrow night for the members exclusive Will Spin. Going to give away some UFC cards to my members here on the channel. And then me and D Rose will be live right back here 10 p.m. on Friday for Change to Cheddar. And then after the pay-per-view Saturday night, we'll be back here to recap it all. So with that being said, one more time, thank you very much. Me and D Rose are going to go ahead and get out of here, and we will catch you guys on Friday. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.